you guys can see, we got this machine, this side-by-side, pretty muddy. This about a week ago, we rode with the Beaten Trail out at AOAA in Shamokin, PA. And it was late when I was coming home, and sometimes I'll stop at the car wash and I'll wash this. It was getting late, getting dark, and the temperatures were dropping, so I really didn't want to deal with, you know, potential freezing and whatnot. So I ended up taking it home, putting it in the garage. It's been below 30 here in Pennsylvania for about a week. Today it's supposed to get up to 40. As a matter of fact, it was so bad my hose, my garden hose was frozen, so I had to thaw that out. And I'm gonna make an attempt to clean this. Now, before we rode last weekend, I washed this and I treated the whole machine with SC1. I was anxious to see how this cleans up after being treated with SC1. And the stuff that I'm gonna use, I was able to buy at the dollar store. I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet. Let me get it. So, this is just an old empty container of shampoo, car wash. What I did is I went to the dollar store and I bought a gallon of something and a large container of something else. Mixed it 1-to-1 in this. As you can see, it is purple. You're probably guessing what it is. You might know. And then what I do is I put this in my foam cannon, about 3/4 full, and then I top it off with water, shake it up. I will foam cannon it, and then I will pressure wash it off. So I'm anxious to see what ended up costing me $12. Am I gonna be able to clean this side by side back to the way it looked before we rode, after I treated it with SC1 before the ride? I don't expect it to be perfect, but one thing I don't like about foam cannons and washing ATVs and side-by-sides is after you're done, they look dull. So I'm anxious to see if this washes all the SC1 off and what the end result looks like. All right, so stay tuned. We're gonna get the pressure washer out for that. I'm gonna hook this bad boy up. I mean, as you can see, I got some pretty good caked in mud in here. Walking around, especially this side. This side, I lost a fender flare on a ride a couple times ago, and I need to get a replacement for that. So the right side, as you can see, is actually getting muddier than the left side. Look at that, what a difference that fender flare missing makes. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. There we go. This is probably gonna freeze, but I gotta get this done before it gets too cold. This stuff foams really nice. It's really nice. Want to get that box a little bit better. You can see it already going to work. Look at it. Wow. I'm not gonna do my feet. All right, so I'm gonna let that sit. And let this hit. Don't mind the Christmas decorations. We have some inflatable. All right, so I'm switching over to the 40 degree. I'm gonna let this go for a minute. So you can see, and that mud's really coming off. Really coming off, dripping. I've used regular shampoos in the past. I've used a couple off-road shampoos, and I've never seen this come off like this with some of those other cleaners or shampoos. So I'm hoping that this is a really good mixture for softening up the mud and achieving what we're looking to achieve. All right, so 36 degrees here. I don't think it's gonna freeze, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Freezing to the machine. Look at all those leaves.
then I forgot to remove my drain. My hands are frozen. Alright, there you have it. I am done. So, it took a little longer than I thought it would. And it could be either two factors. One, it's freezing cold out here right now. It's 37 degrees. The machine was treated with SC1 before I rode recently and got it all muddy, but I mean, I really think that if it was warmer out, I wouldn't have struggled as much to get that initial mud off. But you know, a little bit of work. I mean, it's not perfect. I don't usually really do down in here where the skid plate is, and you know, I don't really do my tires. I mean, it's just gonna get muddy again. But I am impressed with how the mud runs off of this with this mixture. You know, it is it's cheap. I think for the gallon of soap was $5, and I think for the gallon of the other additive was probably $6. All in all, I mean, to get the initial mud off, I mean, I really don't go crazy on my seats. I usually take them out and I hose them off separately. But if we open up in here, you know, yeah, there's some residual in here, but I don't go crazy in here because it's just going to get muddy again. And then what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll wipe this down with a wet rag. But I don't want to spend too much time squirting the dash. You don't want to go crazy on it. And then got the mailman dropping mail off. He's on a mission today. But you know, I don't want to spend a lot of time with the pressure washer hitting this dash, because you just never know, you know, what water or moisture is going to get behind all the electronics. So I hit it once or twice, and then that's it. But I will go down over the interior and wipe this all down. I'll go through here on the floorboards with a hose once it warms up. Normally in the summertime, I'll just hose all this out, let it drain out through the drain hole, and then go from there. But I mean, all in all, I'm gonna let this dry a little bit and then take a look at it. I can see it right here. It's already starting to get a little bit light. So what I think is going to happen is the SC1 is gonna be completely washed off.
I don't know if Purple Zep is the same as this stuff, but what this is this is a gallon of OxyClean detergent and a large, I think it was like 2 gallons for like $5 at the dollar store, of Purple Power. And I mixed it 1-to-1 ratio in an old car wash jug, so I can mix it and keep it, and I can add it to my foam cannon when I need to. Let me take this off. I used this once before and it worked awesome. And again, like I said, I don't know if I struggled this wash because it's so cold, or is it because of the machine being treated with SC1. The SC1 is like a silicone spray, I'm pretty sure. You know, when I spray this on and then tackle it with the pressure washer, does that make it more difficult to get off? Almost like removing grease, right? So, all right, so it got most of, you know, almost all the residual mud off of the machine, off of the side-by-side. You know, it's not going to be perfect, but that's why a lot of people, like, sometimes if I'm really like, you know, we just did a group ride with like 35 people with the beaten trail,
and they Beaten Trail hosted it up at AOAA here up in Shamokin, PA. So before I took this, there's a lot of CF motos that were coming out to meet us, some subscribers and followers, and I wanted to clean this up the best I could. I wanted it to look damn near brand new, and I cleaned it with this process with the Purple Power and the OxyClean 1:1 ratio, and then I dried it, and then I completely SC1'd the entire machine, and it looked damn near brand new. Even my wife said to me, "Are you selling it?" So so I don't expect this to shine like the SC1 after we just foam cannoned it and pressure washed it. Like I said, you know, there is some residual dirt here, but I think all in all, for the price, for like 12, what is it, $10-12, I mean, you can't beat it, and you get a lot. I mean, I'll probably get 7-8 washes out of that at the dollar store. I don't have to ship anything. I don't have to, you know, order anything online, give my credit card, pay with PayPal. I can go right to the dollar store and pick up a big, huge 2 gallons of Purple Power, and I can pick up a gallon of the OxyClean. So there you have it. If you find this video useful at all, please give us a like, give us a share, drop us a comment. What's your favorite way to clean your ATV or off-road vehicle side by side? You know, we appreciate the comments. It helps drive the videos and the algorithm. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.